This is WKYT This Morning.
Good Friday morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
And I'm Bill Bryant, and we're glad you're on WKYT this morning. Plan today to roll with the flow. More rain. So
nothing new there, right?
That's right. It is May 20th.
Now at 6, some big names are expected to draw thousands of people to the NRA annual meeting in Kentucky today.
Also ahead this morning, we have details on a deadly police-involved shooting in eastern Kentucky.
Day 2 in the search for missing Flight 804 and still no sign. I'm Jonathan Vigliotti in Crete. I'll have the latest coming up.
Well, the rain's heading our direction, not so much during the morning hours, late morning, early afternoon when you expect that most of that rain slide on in here. So heading out about the next couple of hours, you'll be good to go. Heavy rain threat, mainly afternoon. I'm going to show you when I expect that hour-by-hour forecast coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then, and let's get right to the news this morning.
We begin with a breaking news alert involving the search for that Egypt Air flight. An Egyptian Army spokesperson says personal belongings of the passengers and parts of the plane debris from Egypt Air Flight 804 have been found.
That debris was spotted about 180 miles north of Alexandria, Egypt. The plane crashed early yesterday after disappearing from radar while carrying 66 passengers and crew from Paris to Cairo. We have an updated CBS News report from the region coming up here in just a moment.
So Donald Trump is returning to Kentucky, this time to headline the National Rifle Association's annual meeting.
Thousands are expected to attend that three-day event going on in Louisville. It has a massive economic impact as well on the area. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk with a preview. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. The convention starts in 5 hours, and it's expected to draw 70,000 people. As always, the country's biggest gun manufacturing companies will be there, but another big draw for many is this year's speaker.
One by one, week after week, boom, 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 gun, gun, gun.
Since Donald Trump is headlining the large convention, Louisville police are getting ready for protesters. The debate over the right to bear arms is always one that sparks controversy, and Trump's presence at the convention today is expected to do the same. The convention runs through Sunday afternoon. At the Kentucky Expo Center, you can expect to find more than 800 exhibits spread across several acres. To attend the convention, you must be a member of the NRA, and if you need to, you can buy a membership at the door. Something to keep in mind is a few of the events, like Trump's speech today, will require separate tickets. If you are planning on visiting the NRA convention, you may want to leave your firearms at home. Coming up at 6:30, we'll take a look at the long list of high-profile speakers that you probably will not be able to see if you're carrying a gun. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
This morning, a new CBS New York Times poll shows Trump behind his likely Democratic challenger Hillary Clinton by 6 points nationwide. But a month ago, the poll showed Clinton with a 10-point lead over Trump. The poll also says Bernie Sanders, who is trailing Clinton for the Democratic nomination, has a 13-point lead over Trump. 52% of voters surveyed said they would like more choices in the general election other than Clinton and Trump.
Back here in Kentucky, a man has died after being shot by troopers in Knott County. The deadly shooting happened on Highway 721 in the Feisty community, that is near Hindman. State police say they got a call that 36-year-old Timothy Stacy was drunk and firing shots near his home. And when police got there, they say Stacy pointed the gun at them. That's when more than one trooper shot Stacy, killing him. One neighbor heard it all unfold.
I don't know who said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then about, I guess, 10 or 12 shots rang out, and that's all I know.
Troopers Josh Huff and Charlie Moore and Detective Chris Collins are all on administrative duty. That is standard process following a police-involved shooting. New on WKYT this morning, a Lexington man is in jail accused of raping a teenager. Juan Estrada is facing 2 charges of rape. Police say the victim was 14 years old when the first crime allegedly happened back in 2007. Estrada will be arraigned today.
The community is helping a Lexington family who lost everything in a massive fire. The home on Stansbury Cove near Jacobson Park was destroyed this week. The fire was so large it damaged 4 other homes. In a combined effort, Athens-Childsburg Elementary, Hayes Middle School, and Crossroads Christian Church are trying to raise at least $5,000 for that family.
They're such good people. They're just a really nice family. They're they have friends over a lot, and they love to do things with their family, and they've worked really hard in their home. They just finished doing some more work on their home last weekend.
The neighborhood's homeowners association is also taking donations for the fire victims. If you don't have any weekend plans, listen up. It's shaping up to be a pretty busy weekend here in Lexington.
And people are going to have to plan to dodge the showers that we anticipate as well. WKYT's Mike Byer is going to be running down some of that for us in just a little bit with all that the weekend has to offer. But I think we'll take a look right now at some of those things that are going on. Lexington, it looks like, is going to be rocking this weekend, rain or shine. The city is hosting several major events, and here are some of the things happening. The fun times start tonight. The Taste of the Bluegrass kicking off at 7 p.m. It will run until 11. That will be at Keeneland's Keen Barn and Entertainment Center, so that's inside for that. The event showcases the best food and drinks in Central Kentucky. There'll be more than 60 food vendors on hand. Also going on tonight, the event there.
Maserati Mingle. It's being held at the Courthouse Square on North Limestone Street. It runs from 5:30 to 9:30. You can enjoy exotic automobiles to go along with live music and plenty of food and drinks. Admission there is free, and there will be a Maserati after party in the 21C Museum Hotel on West Main Street. Sounds like a lot of fun at these events.
Yeah.
They're just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, because there are many other things going on. But the deal is, once again, people are going to have to be planning around those showers, and we anticipate some pretty heavy rain this afternoon. Let's check weather with Micah.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
So we're looking outside early this morning. We are dry. Temperatures are there in the 50s. Not a bad feel as you're walking out the door. Not a bad look, too. The clouds are overhead. It's all right as long as rain's not falling on us, and it's not at this very moment. So you look across Defender Radar Network. Nothing going on, right? Look back toward the west and the southwest. Here comes some rain. That's very heavy rain in southern Alabama at this moment, and the panhandle of Florida. A lot of my family being woken up early this morning down in the great state of Alabama. But look, a lot of that moisture, this actual system is heading eastbound, but the moisture will be creeping northbound because there's a low pressure system over Louisiana, and it's tracking our direction. And when it does, it's going to carry all that moisture along with it. Think of this as your winter system when you have just huge amounts of snow, right? This is what happens during the winter. You get those southern systems, it brings in a lot of moisture, and then you get those heavy amounts of snow. This is exactly what's happening, except now we're talking about spring. Now we're talking about much warmer conditions, so it's still going to bring in a lot of rain, and some corridors will expect better rain totals than some other areas, and I'll show you that in just about 30 seconds. But 7 a.m. Saturday morning, the heaviest rain's long gone Saturday morning. If you're doing Bike Lexington, if you have those events, that festival over in the Apple Blossom Festival over in Pike County, know this, that there will be a rain chance, but it's not a washout. The heaviest rain will be long gone, only light chances of rain. And just to tell you that and tell you I'm not kidding about it, I'm still going down to Bike Lexington, even though I expect a couple light showers. That's not going to rain on my parade, all right? Thunderstorms maybe, but not this light rain we're expecting on Saturday. So today you could have heavy rain, showers, and thunderstorms today. No severe weather expected. The heaviest rain, note this, not the rain, not just a couple of drops, the heaviest rain, that corridor comes between noon and the southern half, slides northbound through about 8 p.m. Okay, so that's the time frame, mainly afternoon, 1 to 2 inches for most. A couple locations could be higher than that, but spotty light showers expected there on Saturday as the system passes on through. This swath of moisture, heavy rain, has moved northbound farther and farther each and every model run since yesterday. So we'll continue to see the track of this system as it gets a little bit closer. These models have a better handle on it, and it's pushed that corridor 1 to 2 inches of rain, and maybe in some locations higher than that. Now into the bluegrass and northern zones, when 2 days ago it was in southeastern Kentucky. But if you remember in winter, that's the way it goes. When these systems get closer, you can see where that swath of moisture is going to be. Now it looks like central and northern Kentucky.
And everyone was anticipating the spring, and now it's been a wet spring.
Very wet spring.
We
That's
need it
exactly
to be
right.
a dry summer.
We definitely have a surplus, that is for sure.
Thank you so much, Micah. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Here's Officer Don with a look at what's taking place out there on the roads. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's pretty quiet right now. Just had a look at the circle and the interstate. Inner and outer loops look okay, even past Tates Creek and Nicholasville Road, and so does 75 and 64, at least here in Fayette County. Let's get a look outside right now, and we'll show you what to expect as far as real-time traffic flow goes, with no issues coming in from Nicholasville, Mount Sterling, and we're also okay downtown. A little construction happening, but so far traffic flow is pretty light. As our drive times pop up this morning, no major delays to deal with. Nicholasville 14 minutes, Georgetown 16, Paris will take about 18, and from Winchester 23. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, Don, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And a lot more WKYT this morning is on the way on your Friday.
The concern over the Zika virus has part of the U.S. Summer Olympic team making changes ahead of Rio.
And the latest on the search for an Egyptian airliner that crashed over the Mediterranean Sea. Those stories and a lot more coming up. 6:10 is your time on your Friday morning.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back to WKYT This Morning. Your time is 6:14. Breaking news this morning. The Egyptian military says it's located debris from the missing Egypt Air Flight 804.
That word coming just minutes ago. The plane took off from Paris Wednesday with 66 people on board and then disappeared over the Mediterranean Sea. Jonathan Vigliotti has the latest from Crete, where some of the planes involved in the search are being launched.
Authorities say Navy vessels made the discovery, which includes passengers' belongings, north of the coastal city of Alexandria. It comes as crews continue racing against time in search of wreckage of the missing plane.
The first 24 hours was really focused on search and rescue or recovery, trying to really nail down all the perishable evidence.
Yesterday, airline officials were forced to retract claims that debris, including life jackets found near the Greek island of Karpathos, belonged to the doomed flight. A Greek defense minister said the plane, traveling from Paris to Cairo, veered wildly in the air before crashing into the Mediterranean Sea. As crews focus their search south of Crete, what brought the plane down remains unclear. Egyptian aviation officials believe terrorism may be to blame. CBS News senior security contributor Mike Morrell says there is no evidence terrorism brought down the aircraft, but that nothing can be ruled out.
I think there's two possibilities, right? One is a bomb, either placed on the aircraft somewhere in North Africa where the plane had been earlier in the day, or it could have been an individual on the plane, even the pilot or co-pilot, who became radicalized.
Clues as to what caused the crash could come from the plane's flight data and cockpit voice recorders, which may well be at the bottom of the sea. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Crete.
So the questions obviously continue this morning. Officials from France, Greece, and the United States have joined Egyptian officials in trying to locate the rest of the plane this morning. $1.1 billion. The plan to combat the Zika virus has cleared the U.S. Senate with bipartisan support. It is less than the $1.9 billion that President Obama had asked for. The White House says Obama is set to veto a House version which totals up to only $622 million. That was sponsored by Kentucky Congressman Hal Rogers. Zika, which is spread by mosquitoes and sexual contact, can cause severe birth defects. Federal health officials say more than 500 people in the U.S. have contracted the virus.
The USA swimming team has moved a pre-Olympic training camp out of Puerto Rico because of the Zika virus. There are no plans to bail on the Summer Games in Brazil, even though that country has been the epicenter of the outbreak. The camp will now be held in Atlanta. A massive frozen recall involves millions of packages of fruits and vegetables that were shipped to all 50 U.S. states. Authorities trying to stem a listeria-linked illness worry that it will be difficult to get consumers to dig through their freezers and check for products that may have been bought back as far as 2014. Now, the products were sold under more than 40 different brand names at major retailers such as Costco, Target, and Trader Joe's. 8 people have been sickened. And longtime 60 Minutes correspondent Morley Safer has died. He covered the world for more than half a century and had just announced his retirement last week. His health had been declining for years. He was 84 years old.
And will certainly be missed. And what a short retirement, really, having retired over the last weekend. Coming up on 6:18 on WKYT this morning, Americans have saved $18 billion on gasoline so far this year compared to last year. AAA says that is one big reason that more Americans are getting ready for a road trip for Memorial Day weekend. Roughly 38 million Americans apparently going to be driving to some destination. That's the most since 2005. Fiat Chrysler is recalling nearly 500,000 Jeep Wrangler SUVs because the driver's airbag may not inflate in a crash. The worldwide recall covers Wranglers from 2007 through the 2010 model years and special duty Wranglers 2011 through 2016. The automaker says it is not aware of any related injuries right now. A new creditcards.com survey finds Americans won't break the bank to go on vacation this summer. In fact, the data shows only 44% are even planning getaways. The rest, rather, are going to be staying put this summer, it looks like, rather than go into debt. And Walmart's learning you get what you pay for. The retailer reported surprisingly good sales for the first quarter. One reason, Walmart recently started paying its workers more money. And in turn, they're spending more money at Walmart. So some of them even spending more at their own place of business.
Yes, it's never bad to get paid more, is it?
Right.
WKYT this morning is just getting started. Just in time for summer, the Centers of Disease Control has a new warning about the safety at public pools.
A lot of events going on today and tomorrow. I'm going to talk about when you can expect this rain, wind, and just some nasty stuff to move on in and how that's going to affect not just your events, but your plans for the weekend. It's coming up next.
Good morning. Welcome back in. It's your Friday on WKYT, and we're glad you're with us this morning. 6:22 right now.
Part of a missing Egyptian airplane that crashed in the Mediterranean Sea has been found.
Breaking news in the last few minutes, and that is what is trending at this hour. The Egyptian Army says debris and passengers' personal belongings were found almost 200 miles off of Egypt's northern coast. The Airbus A320 plane was flying from Paris to Cairo when it disappeared yesterday morning.
Final preparations are underway for the NRA's annual meeting in Kentucky and a visit from Donald Trump. The presumptive GOP nominee will meet with NRA members and Republican leaders today in Louisville with hopes of patching up a splintered party.
State police say troopers shot and killed 36-year-old Timothy Stacy last night outside a home in the Feisty area of Knott County. The police say Stacy pointed a gun at the officers before being shot. We anticipate a lot of rain this afternoon. Hopefully it's all of a sudden and then out of here. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, you know, you got the Relay for Life going on in Woodford County. That's the only one I know about, so maybe some other areas still having that go on. Later on this evening, off into the overnight hours. During that time, it's actually much better than the afternoon. The afternoon is when the rain rushes on in here, so Broadway days in Harrodsburg. A lot of music, fun, fireworks too. You may even get some of nature's own fireworks later on this afternoon and off into the evening hours. But the heaviest rain, noontime starting off in southern Kentucky. So I would say anywhere from noon to about 3 p.m. in London is when you can expect that. And then it slides northbound. Really, that Cumberland region will get it first, and then it slides northbound. But starting off in the 50s, starting off actually a really nice start. Heading out and about, going to work, getting the kids off to the bus stop, no problems whatsoever. Actually looks and feels pretty good. Then we get through lunchtime. Lunchtime, remember, southern Kentucky, if you're in Somerset, if you're in Russell Springs, if you're in, say, Columbia, those areas down toward Lake Cumberland, just the surrounding area in the Cumberland Parkway, expect the rain to increase right around noontime. So heading out to lunch, that's going to be a tough go at it. And if you're trying to plan to get some things done, do it during the morning hours. Afternoon, it's very soggy. I mean, that goes for virtually everybody during the afternoon from noon to about 8 p.m., guys. That's when I expect the heaviest rain. Not the first drops, but the heaviest rain to move on in, and that's the focus of the forecast, is tracking that heavy rain threat. As of right now, no severe weather expected, and possible flooding, some isolated spots could be expected. I'll show you when and where I expect that coming up in just a few minutes.
The rain just lingers this year, you know.
I'm tired of it. I'll tell you that.
I think everybody is.
Yeah.
All right, the time this morning is 6:25. A new report from the CDC says an alarming number of public pools have serious health and safety violations.
Yeah, the CDC reviewed inspection reports of nearly 50,000 public pools. It found 1 in 8 inspections resulted in an immediate closure. The most common violations were bacteria in the water and improper pH levels. The CDC says public pool inspections are typically posted online by your local health department. And we're used to seeing high school students punk teachers, so it's about time we get to see the teachers take a turn, right?
Turnabout is fair play, right? Teachers at an Alabama high school flipped the script, busting moves behind some unsuspected seniors who thought they were shooting interviews. There you see one there. The teacher's funny prank was revealed to the students at a school assembly, so they got to see exactly what was going on behind them.
Texas Tech is always the national champion. God, jeez Louise!
Okay, that was the reaction of a West Virginia weatherman. He had that when he saw that huge spider on a camera overlooking his city. Just kind of got out of the way there.
Why did that just happen? I think I nearly lost my lunch. Oh, man, sakes alive. We got to get out there and kill those things.
All over a spider, right? Well, to be fair, Brian Hughes says he has an incredible fear of spiders. That's why he was so upset by the spider in his camera.
Yeah. Of course, it was on a green screen, so...
we should put a spider
really
in Micah's camera.
Yeah.
Don't tell him.
You mean a real one, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. 6:27 on WKYT this morning. Sure good to have you with us. And the weekend is rolling our way, and we're rolling that way. And that's a good thing on your Friday.
Yes, it is. When WKYT This Morning returns, a look at the damage to some little leagues in southern Kentucky that police say was caused by some bored teens.
Yeah, you'll hear their excuse for it all. Also, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $187 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $70 million. Keep it here on WKYT This Morning.